are not Palestinians. We are Arabs. This is our ethnicity. Palestinian identity is a made-up thing. Does not represent us, and we are tired of it, and we don't want it. You know, many times I said, and I see it on the social media all the time, that people say accusing genocide or genocidal. And simply I say, don't use words that are bigger than your brain. Because what's happening in Gaza is not a genocide. It's collateral damage. What's happening in Gaza cannot be genocide, cannot be ethnic cleansing. Simply because Israel give the people the chance to evacuate. Mm-hmm. They give them safe passages from the beginning of the war. I'm not saying that some civilians did not get caught up in the fire, mm-hmm. but also many civilians died as victims of Hamas booby traps. And the Hamas health ministry never told us how many Gazans Hamas killed in Gaza. And the Hamas health ministry never told us how many combatants died since the beginning of the war. They did not report even one. And they reported everybody as civilian, mostly women and children, mm-hmm. For global sympathy. So this is the strategy. This is very evil. First of all, sacrificing children for political and financial gain. Second, taking civilians as human shields. Then lying about the statistics. Then the pro-Palestine and the Muslims behind them come on a global assault against the Jewish people instead of apologizing for what happened on October 7 and say, this does not represent us. They decided to launch a global assault. At the beginning, they celebrated October 7. Then shortly after, they inverted the narrative, and it became, instead of a genocide committed against the Jewish people, which the very definition of genocide, because it was deliberate and committed based on religious and ethnic background. This is what defines a genocide. Mm-hmm. The genocide is not defined based on the head count of how many people died. It's why and how the people were killed. All of us saw it documented by Hamas on cameras. So for the people to invert this, and now it just became the business, and all the social media experts analyzing the situation and accusing a democracy of committing genocide, even though Israel has been doing everything within their ability to minimize the civilian casualty. Instead of that, while Hamas did everything within their ability to maximize the civilian casualty. So with that said, the genocide allegations is as false as the apartheid accusation, as false as the colonization or colonialism, right. Ethnic cleansing. They're just big accusations with no support, as false as the narrative of occupation, because there is no such thing as occupation. And what support their narrative is what's so-called international law. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean to offend anybody, but there is no such thing as international law. It's just the rules of the game. The rules of the game, the rating, the United Nations was launched in San Francisco. It was made by the most powerful countries. After the World War II, the 5 superpowers don't obey and don't submit to the laws of the international laws. What kind of law is that? This is the law that is written by the powerful to the weak. And to say that there was a Palestine as a country and it has been occupied is the biggest lie in our modern history. I don't care if the United Nations validate it or not. There was no such thing as Palestine. It never existed as a political entity or as a sovereign state. It was nothing but a colonial entity created by the British from 1922 to 1948. A colonial entity. Jews, Arabs, Druze, Christians, and many other ethnic groups, all of them were called Palestinians according to the British mandate for Palestine. It was not a sovereign Arab state. So for the Palestinians to come and claim a colonial entity as their national identity and have a monopoly over that colonial entity that lasted approximately 25 years is absurdity. And for the international community to build on the top of that and consider that Palestine, a colonial entity, became occupied by the indigenous of the land. It's insanity. So you can go on and study for the next 10, 20 years international law. It doesn't matter. It's nonsense. There was no Palestine. And this is the truth that we need to bring to people. Because what people don't realize, false narrative eventually lead to violence. All these allegations of genocide, of ethnic cleansing, of colonialism, of occupation, this what brought us here. This is what has been creating the victim mindset, the victim narrative that is entitled for revenge. And the more we empower this narrative, this falsehood, the more there's going to be violence, because now we see how angry the people, everybody is projecting their anger on the situation, and I and my children and my brothers back home, everybody has to pay the price on behalf of their angry cause. And we are not willing to do this. We are not Palestinians. We are Arabs. This is our ethnicity. Palestinian identity is a made-up thing. Does not represent us, and we are tired of it, and we don't want it. If the Arab children are cursed to pay for the sins of Palestine and Palestinians for eternity, then we don't want it. If there is any invader in the West Bank and Gaza, is Palestinians, the ones who came with the AK-47 in the tens of thousands and enslaved our people, pointing their guns at us. And if we don't obey them, they are going to shoot us. Hamas are invaders. This is the Muslim Brotherhood ideology. They invaded our territory. They changed everything by the means of intimidation. The same way that they have been intimidating your campus and your administration, the same way they intimidate the people in the Middle East. And if you submit to them once, show them weakness once, then they are going to come back stronger and stronger. This is their strategy. So basically, we are not Palestinians. Palestine, this is not our business, not even an Arab term. It represents colonialism. And in principle, we don't have a problem with the Jewish people. We don't have a problem coexisting with the Jewish people. Our cousins, I'm sorry for being so long, but our cousins just 10 kilometers to the west of our town, 10 kilometers, who live in Israel and hold Israeli citizenship. We have about 2 million of them. Mm-hmm. They prospered. They had the better education system. They had the better medical system, better infrastructure. They had the freedom. They had the freedom to travel worldwide. And we stayed in the darkness of the Palestinian vengeance that Yasser Arafat and all those who came after him wanted us to continue paying for their struggle. And this is what brought us here. But you can look, there is actually no difference between me and my cousin who's an Israeli citizen. We are the same ethnicity. We both are Arabs. One of us is an Israeli citizen and enjoying all the advantages of democracy, and the other is a stateless with an unknown nationality. Why? because we have enslaved ourselves and we accept the submission, the repression and the oppression of what so-called Palestinian ideologists, leaders, and activists. And we have been paying the price. And I don't understand for how long they want this to go. When October 7 happened, I thought, okay, this is the time now Palestinians are going to realize that this is it. It's a dead end. But instead, now I have Americans, I have Canadians, I have Europeans, everybody is joining the angry cause. And I tell you, the outcome of this is not going to be good.